Do you want to lose weight but struggle to stay committed to a meal plan because you constantly feel hungry? Does food provide you comfort when you are bored, angry, lonely, or sad? If so, you are in the right place. My name is Kristen Jones, and I'm a life coach specializing in emotional eating and weight loss, and I'm also a lifelong emotional eater. I want to provide you with information, motivation, and support so you too can learn to manage your issues with food and develop a healthy relationship with yourself. Welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating Podcast. Welcome to the Breakthrough Emotional Eating Podcast. My name is Kristen Jones, and thank you so much for joining me again this week. Love having you here every week. And we are, as always, live in the Breakthrough Emotional Eating Facebook group. And if you are not a member of the group, right now it is streaming live in the group. But if you are listening to this on the podcast and you are not a member of the group, absolutely 100% you need to come and be a member. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/food-breakthrough, and please become a part of what I think is the most amazing community on Facebook when it comes to supporting each other in emotional eating and losing weight and all of the things that go along with it. We have had some really, really cool posts that have been done by members in the last couple days that people have been chiming in on that has just been so amazing because of the amount of support and caring that people share with each other in the group is it's amazing. It just warms my heart and I love it. And I really appreciate everybody who participates and is a part of the community. So please, if you're watching or listening to this on the podcast, please become a member of the group. We'd love to see you there. So on today's podcast, you are going to learn, because again, we're going to talk about, is your past keeping you fat? Is it keeping you from losing weight? And as you know, if you're a follower of the podcast, you know, this is not about how much broccoli you're eating or are you eating cookies, or it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with are the thoughts about your past, are you keeping yourself in the past instead of allowing yourself to be able to be successful and lose the weight that you want? So today in today's podcast, we're going to talk about how beliefs can become truth. And we can totally, absolutely think like this is 100% who I am, when in reality, it is absolutely not. If we are not careful, those beliefs become our truth, and in reality, they are not. Second thing, we're gonna look at how to look to our future and not to our past to determine our success in accomplishing any goal that we set out for ourselves. Any goal can be met, but we have to look to our future instead of our past. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. And then finally, how to change our thoughts from our past that have kept us locked in, have kept us, from moving forward, have kept us stagnant exactly where we are, and how we can move ourselves forward and rework and change those beliefs that we have and make them into beliefs that actually serve us and move us forward, which is super, super exciting. So as you always know, I always do a client shout out. And today I am doing a client shout out for two people that actually, these have been two of probably my longest standing clients. When I started my my fitness business, when I started my coaching business, I focused primarily on fitness. And most of you know that I'm a fitness instructor, and I teach classes. And so I had quite a few personal training clients. And due to COVID, I only have two sets of clients left. And one of them is the two people that I'm going to spotlight today, and that's Jamie and Brian Bernstein. And they are two of my in-person clients. I do not see them in person anymore. We are live on Zoom 3 times a week, and they are just the most amazing couple themselves. They are such a great couple together, but there's so much fun to have them work out together. And they set such an incredible example for their 2 young boys. And I love the fact that we get up and we're up, we get to sleep in. Now we're up at 6:30 in the morning when we work out together. And they are just an amazing, amazing example of how you want fitness and healthy eating to be a part of your kids' lives as well as your lives, and setting that tone very early about how important and what a priority that is, and that you yourself are a priority. And Jamie and Brian are really good about doing that and showing that to their boys. So just absolutely love working with them. Half the time I end up, laugh most of the time because the kids come in and they're in the camera, and they're awesome. I just love their kids. But they're just such a great example of parents that are really walking the walk and showing their kids how how being healthy is just a natural thing. It becomes a part of your life. So Jamie and Brian, love working with you. It's been a long time, and I really enjoy our time together. All right, let's get to the main event here. Is your past keeping you fat? Now remember, you always know, because I don't try to hide anything from you. I always have notes, so I could be referring to my notes. So just know that. Okay, so first thing we have to understand is our beliefs. When we have something, when we create, we must not confuse the beliefs that we have about things that have happened in our past as being the truth about who we are. We can't do that, because when we consistently, if we always are looking to our past to determine our future, we're never going to do anything that we haven't done before, because we're going to be too afraid. We're going to think, well, I can't do that because I've never done it before. That's the way people usually determine if they can do something is, well, I've done it before, so I can do it again. When you're doing something like trying to lose weight and keep it off forever, you have to, and especially if you have a history of repeatedly going on diets, losing weight, gaining it back, or going on a diet and lasting 2 days and then falling off the wagon. If you have that, which most people do, if you are consistently looking to your past, you are absolutely forecasting what is going to happen in your future. You are absolutely making that to be your reality. Your reality is what's happened in the past. We can't do that anymore. We have to change how we look at the things that have happened in our past. And we don't, because again, the beliefs are merely thoughts that we have that have been repeated over and over and over again. And once we repeat them over and over and over again enough times, they become ingrained in our thought patterns. And that becomes our truth. We think that's the truth because it's just been said so many times. So it has to be true. So when you think, and you think it's a harmless thought of, well, I'm just not very good at losing weight, or I have a really bad sugar addiction. I hear that all the time. I have a really bad sugar addiction. I can't resist blank. If you keep saying that over and over, eventually that is going to become your reality, because you're replaying what has happened in the past. You're replaying everything that has not worked. You're continuing to feed that to yourself, and then expecting the outcome in the present and in the future to be different. Doesn't make any sense, y'all. Doesn't make any sense at all, because we can't keep telling ourselves something and then expect things to be different. So we have to start making changes to how we look at our past, and we'll talk about that, how we look at our past. But we really have to remember that just because something is something that happened in the past, we can leave it in the past. It doesn't have to come into our present and then infect our future. So for those of you out there that have ever, okay, raise your hand who's ever failed at a diet. Okay, I'm seeing all the virtual hands go up. If you failed at a diet, if you keep reliving that diet or the 5 other diets that you weren't successful on, if you keep replaying that in your mind, no matter what you're doing in your present, if you keep replaying the past is what's going to happen again. So we really have to let those past thoughts, and again, a thought is not a fact. A thought is just a thought. And so it's not something, we don't have to believe that. We don't have to have that be our future, our present, and our future. We can let that stay in the past, and we can change our thoughts about what we got out of that. And we'll be talking about that. So again, we have to remember that we have to watch that thought process. We have to watch the thoughts and watch the words that we're saying, and that negative self-talk, when that starts kicking in, we have to remember that we have the power to change the direction of our future based upon the words that we're saying now, not based upon what's happened in the past. So this, how does this translate into real life? So when I work with clients, one of the things that I absolutely insist upon, do all my clients do it? Not always. And so any of my clients out there listening, some of them will say, oh yes, I always did this. And some of them will say, yeah, I might not have done that. But one of the things that I always try to incorporate in my clients, with my clients when I'm working with them, is daily gratitude and affirmations. And affirmations are thoughts about ourselves, things that we know we can do, that we tell ourselves we can do, even if we've never done them. Even if we've never ever done them, we tell ourselves that as if it's already happened, we tell ourselves that we have a happy life, we deserve to be happy, we are worthy of all the effort and the work that we're putting out and we're doing for ourselves. And those affirmations are that creating the present and the future. We're talking about what's going to happen in the future, but we're acting as if it's already happened. So we're forecasting and we're looking towards our future, not looking at our past. So a perfect example of that is my client, Dawn, who over and over and over, and I can remember reading this almost every time she would turn in an assessment at night, at her daily assessment. And at the bottom of the sheet, she would always write, I deserve to be happy. I'm worthy of this effort, and I have a happy life. And that was over and over and over. And she wrote it every single day. And 20 pounds later, that is exactly what she got. So, Dawn, if you're there watching, I'm so proud of you. And I know that those positive affirmations and the talk that you did to yourself did not keep you in the past. We talked about your future. We talked about where you were going. And that's really important. So everybody really needs to remember, we can't keep reliving the past and think that it's going to be different. You've got to let the past stay in the past. And we have to move forward looking towards our future. Now, the second thing is, again, your future is created by looking at your future, not at the past. And you have to believe, and this is a really hard concept. You have to believe that you can do something that you've never done before. And that can be very, very challenging, because most people, in order to feel confident, in order for them to feel confident that they can achieve something or they can reach a goal, they have to have done something similar to it in their past. And people are very dependent upon their past to determine whether they can do something in the present. That limits us. That means we're never doing anything new. We want to do things that we've never done before. And if you've never lost weight and kept it off, then you better stop thinking about how you acted in those other diets. And you have to start thinking, how am I going to be in the future? What is my future like? This is what my future is going to be like. And this is what it's going to look like. So we have to believe that something can happen, even if we don't have proof. Even if we don't have proof, we have to believe that that can happen. And we have to tell ourselves, yes, that is possible. And it absolutely is possible. And like I said, it is a really tough concept for people to be able to embrace. And again, it's really impossible. It's really difficult when it comes down to weight loss. But the problem is that those beliefs that you have are holding you back. So how do we know if a belief is holding us back? How do we know if it is presenting us with a thought in our head that's going to keep us exactly where we are now and is going to keep us living in the past? Most often, we can tell by how it makes us feel. When you have a negative feeling, when you have a bad feeling and you think about a thought, you think about some belief that you have about yourself, if it makes you feel badly, it's not working for you. It is not serving your life, and you have to look at things. You have to look at that and say, I've got to make a change for that. To create a different future, you must create something that doesn't exist in your past. Mind blowing. Right there. Again, I'm going to say that again. To create a different future, you must create something that doesn't exist in your past, and you must believe with all your heart that you are capable of doing it. And then you must do the actions that are necessary to make that happen. So again, it all starts with our heads. We don't start with the actions. We have to start with our belief first. Our belief has to come first. And we have to believe sometimes that we can do things that we've never done before. So as we know, nothing in life comes without work. I mean, it comes without effort. And so we have to put those two things together. We have to have our belief and our faith in ourselves. That faith and belief has to come first, and then the work comes after that. So I want to provide you, and this is the part where you need the pencil and the paper. I want to provide you with a couple of questions to ask yourself to get you started on believing that you can lose weight and keep it off for good, and to keep your sights set on your future and not live in your past. So I really try to teach my clients to define themselves by their future with future thinking. So I'm going to give you a little preview. My clients have not seen these before, and I'm going to give my listeners in the group, as well as my listeners in the podcast, a little bit of a preview of some of the questions, some of the little deeper thinking questions that I'm going to be introducing to my clients. So I think these really might help you be able to get into that, like, what does it look like to think about my future? And think about my future in relationship to weight loss, and what does that look like? How do I do that? So the first question is, how do you want to think and feel about food in your future when you lose weight? How do you want, we're again, we are in our minds, it's already happened, we've lost the weight. Okay, so how do you want to think and feel about food in your future? Ideally, best case scenario, because that's where you're going to get to. And so we have to look to our future to get us there. So that's the first question. How do you want to think and feel about food? Second question, how do you want to think and feel about your body? How do you want to think and feel about your body? And obviously, these are questions that require a little bit of thought and a little bit of pondering and a lot of just free write, get everything out of your mind. The third question, what do you have to change to become this person who thinks and feels the way you've written, what you've written down? What do you have to change in order to become that person who thinks and feels the way you've written down about food and about their body? Okay. Now, whole set of other questions. There's 2 worksheets. If you are interested in getting copies of these worksheets that I'm going to, that none of my clients have seen yet, they're going to be seeing them, but none of them have seen them yet. So whether you are a present or a past client, you absolutely can access these. And anyone, even if you're not a client, please, if you would like these questions and you would like to be able to use these questions to really do some deep work on your thought process about your past, about your present, and about your future. We have to be moving towards the future in order to make this happen, to make our goals happen. So if you are interested in getting those worksheets, in the comments, I want you just to write the word future. Write the word future in the comments. I will connect with you and I will get you those worksheets. Okay? Now, last thing we want to talk about is, how do you change those really deeply ingrained beliefs that you have about yourself when it comes to your weight, your body, weight loss, all those things, all the things. Now, how do you change those? Most of the time, the beliefs that we have are not necessarily beliefs that we have adopted. They're beliefs that other people have given us. We've had people say things, unkind, hurtful things to us about our shape, about our bodies, about how we act around food, about our weight, all sorts of things, our appearance. those beliefs are not who we are, but we played them over and over and over in our heads so many times that we think that's the truth. And we think there's no way of getting rid of them. And there absolutely 100% is a way to get rid of them. Okay. And I've talked about this before and I've offered this before and I want to offer it again. There's a 3-step process called accept, forgive, and rewrite. And it's taking your beliefs, it's accepting that somebody or something along the way gave you a belief. Could be yourself, it could be a parent, it could be a grandparent, it could be a friend, it could have been an ex, anything. Somehow we got this belief, somebody gave us this belief, and we took it as the gospel and we made it our own and made it, and it's been holding us back. And we have to take that belief and we have to acknowledge it. We have to accept that it happened. We have to forgive the person. Sometimes that's ourselves. We have to forgive that person for putting that belief on us. And then we have to rewrite it. We have to rewrite that belief and make it into something that is beneficial to us. Make it into, instead of looking at it as a negative, look at it as a positive and then let it go. And it doesn't have to be that belief is gone and we've created a whole new belief about how we are with food, with our weight, with losing weight, all of that, emotional eating, everything. Accept, forgive, and rewrite. Now, I have it's about a 16-minute video that gives you absolutely all the instructions on how to do this. And I want to give that video to anyone who needs it, anyone who wants it, anyone who feels like they have some limiting beliefs that have been given to them or they have given to themselves that just aren't working for you anymore. And you are ready to get rid of them and do the work that it takes to get those past beliefs, get them out of your life, get them out of your head, get them out of your thinking, and move on towards looking at your future, looking towards your future for being successful and not letting our past keep you where you are. That's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you move on. It's not going to help you get where you want to be. It's not going to help you create the life of your dreams, which is what we all want. We all want a life of our dreams. So we really need to make sure that we are allowing ourselves to get rid of the baggage that we're all carrying around. Everybody has their own baggage, but there is a way of addressing it and dealing with it and moving on. So if you are interested, I'm giving away 2 things today. Holy moly. Oh, it's the holidays. So I'm going to give away, anybody who would like the accept, forgive, and rewrite instructional video on how to deal with limiting beliefs. Just want you to write beliefs in the comments. You type beliefs in the comments, I will reach out to you. I will get you that video. Many of you have it. Many people in my group already have it. If you're, again, if you're on the podcast and you're listening, darn it, you need to get into the group. I'm giving out all this stuff. So you need to come into the group. You need to find this broadcast and request those too, because I'm happy to give them. I'm happy to give those to you. I'm happy to help you work through them. So it's really, really helpful. We have to learn how to keep the past in the past, or it will continue to impact our present and our future. And if we are trying to do something that we have never done before, whether that be, learning something new, learning how to lose weight and keep it off forever, learning how to not respond emotionally to food, learning how to not let food control our lives. If we are trying to do that, and that's really honestly what we want, we've got to start doing things differently. And that starts with how we think. And it starts with our thought processes and what we think about our past and how we can't let that impact our future. So there you have it, everyone. I am so happy that you all joined me today because I feel like this is such it's a challenging topic to address, but I think all of us kind of know, you know in your heart when something is holding you back, when you keep sabotaging yourself, you keep doing things that like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And it's like, gosh, why can't I get a different result? Well, if we continue to live in the past, we're going to keep repeating the past. And if we keep having those same thoughts from the past, we're going to keep doing the same things. We've got to change. We've got to make that change happen. And we've got to start looking towards our future in order to make a life for ourselves that we really want and we really desire. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Super happy you all were here. If you're in the Facebook group, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And again, in the comments, if you want the 2 worksheets, the word future, if you are interested in the accept, forgive, and rewrite video, beliefs, beliefs, that was one, beliefs. So it's future and beliefs. You want those 2 free giveaways, please make sure you write that in the comments. All right, everyone, have a great rest. I love this new time frame. I love going a little later in the day. I love it being on Thursday. So please, 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 again, put your comments in the comments and let me know what you need. And again, podcast listeners, please come on in, jump on in the group. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you there. All right, take care. Have a great, great rest of your week and a great weekend, and stay safe and stay healthy. Okay, take care. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. For more information on emotional eating and losing weight, please go to www.facebook.com/groups/food breakthrough and join the Breakthrough Emotional Eating community. I hope to see you soon.